it in the toilet bowl, the shit is going down. We fighting for the bell, yeah, we aiming for the crown. There's walls in your path, yeah, who's gonna break them down? Let's find out, this the Big Rich Breakdown. Let's find out, this the Big Rich Breakdown.
Hello, boys, and welcome to the first edition of Big Rich Breakdown 2025, where we break down all the storylines and the matchups of everything going on in the DFL. Let's get the elephant out of the room. I know it's been a long time since I've been here feeding you the content out of my hands like the little birds that you are. But listen, life happens. It takes a lot of time out of my day to put together this content for you all. So please don't hate me in the comments. Now, a lot has happened in this off season. A lot has happened last season. Congratulations to the new champion, Jason, who, if you watched much of this, the content on this channel, you would know he was a bottom feeder for much of his existence in this league, and he turned it around and he became the champion of the league. Now, again, I would take a lot of time to recap everything that's happened in the past, but let's face it, nobody watches this shit but the people in this league anyway. It's the reality. So before we really get into it, break down this upcoming week as well as the first few weeks in the league, I'm going to give a platform to our wonderful commissioner, the amazing man, Andrew Feminella, just on some words on the start of the 2025 season.
Gentlemen, I think we've hit our stride as a league. This fucker's pretty settled. It's marinating. It's becoming a standard. Thank you all for being an equal part in building this process. That being said, I think we do lack some of what made us the DFL. We need more chaos, more content, more rivalries, more hate, more stupid takes and fighting in the chat. I firmly believe that we'll only rise as a league and as a nation. But I think we miss having an epicenter.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but every time the commissioner speaks, he never fails to inspire me. As well as saying something interesting there at the end. Where has the epicenter gone? Has the storm dissipated, or are we just in the eye of the storm and it's brewing to take us all down? Now for today's episode, while yes it is called the Big Rich Breakdown, I'm going to try and keep these episodes a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to kind of briefly talk on the matchups, give you my prediction for who I think is going to win, and just kind of give you a little recap about where each team is at so far. And with that, we will get into the first matchup, everyone's favorite segment of the show, the DFL Dud of the Week. And that'll be the dominant champions of the league. So far looking great at 3-0. Jason's Bijan Mustardson going up against the lowly, pathetic, bald Chicken Parmesan by Carmine. Now, if we're looking at the projections here, Jason is projected to win by about 50 points. But that being said, Carmine is going to be getting Jackson Dart into the lineup this week for the very first time. Unfortunately for Carmine, that means that he still only has one starting quarterback, as easily the worst quarterback room in the DFL. Carmine, however, did pull out a win last week against the Titan Jim, who everyone also views as a contender in this league. So, you know, Carmine, maybe he can start to build up a little bit of reputation as a Titan slayer. You know, he has the fun running back room of Bucky Irving and Amarian Hampton, which Amarian Hampton, big week last week after Najee goes down. So he looks like he kind of will be the bell cow back in that Chargers offense, which is pretty exciting for Carmine. That being said, besides Nico Collins, his wide receiver room has a whole lot of mid with Josh Downs and Hollywood Brown, the young, exciting rookie Tyler Warren, and Jordan Mason as well, putting up big numbers. Maybe Carmine, maybe his team is better than expected to start this year. But that being said, I do think that Jason and his unit, his powerhouse of a lineup, led by Lamar Jackson, Bijan Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, yada, yada, yada. We can go for days. I I think he's going to come out on top this week, and I don't think it's going to be much of a close competition. That being said, Carmine, you have put yourself on notice to start this. You've put the league on notice to start this year. So we still, if we could turn 1-2 into 2-2, probably not. You do suck, and you're bald. All right. Next up, we're looking at a pretty fun matchup here with the commissioner, Andrews, his Chrome Future, going up against another Baldy in Senia, who is starting off 0-3. He's had some injuries to some of the veterans in his room. A.J. Brown, pretty inconsistent in that offense. If you're rolling Kareem Hunter and Tony Pollard out there to try and contend, you might want to be rethinking some things going on for the rest of the season. And looks like he still might be missing Daniels for this week. He's day-to-day. But if I was the Commanders, if you're winning games without him, just let Daniels rest up on that leg. He does rely on them. And then Andrew, unfortunately, looks like he's going to be missing CeeDee Lamb for some time. He got injured this weekend. And really the main focal point of his team. That being said, Jonathan Taylor has been a wrecking ball for this league and for the NFL as well, as the Colts look rejuvenated under Indiana Jones. So with that being said, Josh Allen leading the way for Andrew. He definitely has a lot of boomer bust things on his team, but I'm still going to pick him to win this week. Just with Senia, I think it's going to be maybe about week 5 or 6 where Senia starts to realize it might be time to start making some moves. Next up, we got myself taking on Grogan. Always a fun matchup. Always a pleasure to go up against this guy who always thinks he's a contender, but is always pretty mid to trash. But once again, the Cinderella story of Grogan starting 3-0 to start the season here, as Amon-Ra St. Brown and Montgomery. He kind of goes as the Lions go, which, the Lions are a formidable heavyweight offense in the NFL, so they can carry Rob's team, as we can see here, to 3 victories. And then myself, who I kind of dedicated after being a total shitter last season, bottom feeder of the league, getting Ashton Genty with the number 1 pick, I committed that if I'm going to be playing in the DFL, we're going to be trying to win games. So we built this unit of a roster. And it just hasn't come together so far. Brian Thomas Jr., he's scared. He's scared that T-Law is going to kill him. He has the yips in the middle of the field. He's not comfortable with these slant routes. J. Jeff, one of the best players in the league, but the quarterback play so far hasn't been great. Achan's been good, but you're kind of wondering what you're going to get. Actually, not wondering. The offense are going to be shit every week, but Achan's pretty much thing chugging forward there, that entire offense. Ted McMillan's been fun, an exciting watch. But Genty, not what you want to see for your first 3 games from your rookie running back that was put in the conversations with Bijan Gibbs. Drafted as early as guys like Saquon, and it's been troublesome. But that being said, we do not falter here at Rags to Riches. You all know this. We pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. We are men, and we guarantee wins against Grogan. That's what we're doing. We're guaranteeing a win, and we're gonna win. And if we don't, we're not even talking about what happens if we don't, because something will need to happen in Rags to Riches locker room. But we will win this week. Book it. Next up, we have one of the more fun matchups of the year always, as we get the battle of the gyms. Rosinski versus DeVito. Good versus bad. Sorry, DeVito. But DeVito is starting to build a little bit of a roster here that you might actually want to have in the Dynasty League, as he has some young receivers. Unfortunately, one of them has been hurt, and Xavier Worthy. But Lad McConkey's fun. Bo Nix, because his quarterback, is fun. Quinshon Judkins had a big little breakout game after his legal problems. And Bryce Young sometimes looks solid, sometimes looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL. But regardless, DeVito is 0-3 to start the year, right there with Senia. Now, as we shift the conversation over to 2-point conversion, Rosinski's team, his team was someone who was also viewed to be a contender this year. Unfortunately for him, Malik Neighbors had Russell Wilson throwing to him. We'll see if Jackson Dart can do better, as he only put up 3 points last week. And T. Higgins losing Burrow seems to definitely have affected his dynasty stock. So, just like me, Jim has started his season at 1-2, which is not where we would like to be. That being said, Jim's team is filled with depth, and I'm pretty confident that Jim will be just fine. I'd like to say I'm just as confident in myself, but when there's personal ties, the panic meter starts to rise up a little bit quicker. That being said, I am definitely going to be taking Jim Rosinski 2-point conversion this week to go over the former champion who has fallen far from grace. DeVito. Sorry, man. Now, one of my inside sources here at the Big Rich Breakdown was able to reach out to Mr. Rosinski for comment. And here's what he had to say about his slow start.
Yeah, it's been a rough start for 2-point conversion, that's for sure. But adversity, it builds character. It builds character for sure. So this team's going to have a lot of character to another second-place finish. It's going to taste that much sweeter. But yeah, we're dealing with some injuries to Burrow on the twofold here at quarterback and affecting T. Higgins. We got a terrible quarterback throwing to Drake London, so that doesn't help. So yeah, we're gonna keep battling, and we're calling out the wide receiver group. The running backs have been showing up. The quarterbacks are doing what they got to do, but it's time for the wide receivers to show up.
Next up, we have the Rogaz Renegade, the silent assassin, former epicenter, going up against the team that beat me last week, Justin. For this fossil fuel, turned me into a fossil, he claims, but if you've seen the movie Jurassic Park, fossils can be reborn into big murderous beasts. That's going to be me. It's probably the worst joke I've ever made, but we're here. You wanted content, you're getting content. Justin's team, I think a big boost for him was definitely getting DK and Debo to make that receiver room, capable of some boom weeks. And then Kincaid looking like he's coming back to be a force as Josh Allen's maybe potential favorite weapon in his offense. Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts always got that rushing upside with them. They've propelled Justin to be 2-1 to start the year. Rogaz Renegade definitely got some exciting young talent on there after his championship run a couple years ago. Blew his team to smithereens last year. If he was talking in the chat, I'm sure he would be going on and on about Javonte Williams. Like, he always knew this was going to be. We all know last year that Kevin totally given up on that guy. But he is looking really good for the Cowboys. So, been a huge break for Kevin, as well as Emeka Egbuka, one of the more exciting young players in the league. Looks like the real deal. And that Tampa Bay offense looks like a reliable weapon for Baker Mayfield. And then JSN has just been great, probably making a little bit of a better case to have gone second overall. But it's still Bijan and Gibbs, so I don't know how much of a case you could make in this matchup. Let's see, Kev's actually projected to win. I think that due to the boomer bust nature of Justin's team, and he boomed a little bit last week, I think he's due for a little bit of a bust week. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rogaz Renegade to win this week. And that'll take us to the DFL matchup of the week. It's a pretty fun one here. 2-1 teams. 2 playoff hopefuls. One more likely to make the playoffs than the other. It'll be the Redeem team. Who was the Redeem team last year and he didn't really redeem shit. So maybe you should look at a team name change there. That's Bob going up against All In for the Riches. Alexi. The nice guy I know he's very happy about the Colts right now. I really hope they don't come crashing down Alexi, I really hope they don't end up like the Dolphins. In real time, as I'm seeing here, we're getting a nickname change from the silent epicenter. What's it going to be? Travis Hunter just got his nickname deleted. Breaking news: GM of the Rogaz Renegade is out on Travis Hunter. He hates Travis Hunter. Anyway, back to that matchup. Alexi has got to be starting to worry about Marvin Harrison, who looks pretty mid out there. Brock Bowers been dealing with some injuries, but it looks like he's off the report. Roma Dunze has looked really exciting to start this season, but he has been pretty touchdown dependent. And yeah, Alexi's team, like it's definitely the team that is capable of knocking anybody off any week. Quentin Johnson's been a lot better than people expected. Bob has the team, he has that running back room, the ever-reliable Saquon, Kamara, CMC trio, which allows him to keep Breece Hall on the bench or slide him into that super flex. With CD going down, that's huge for George Pickens on Bob's team as well. And then Keenan Allen has just reemerged this year with his favorite quarterback, Justin Herbert. Bob's been doing a lot of talking. He has been chirping. He's been asking me if I'm selling. Little inside report in there. I'm not selling. You guys can stay out of my texts. I'm not selling. It's not happening. But I'm gonna pick one upset this week. I'm gonna go with I think the vibes of the Colts might surround Alexi this week, and I'm gonna pick on for the riches to win this week and beat Bob. That would be great. Please share below in the comments who you think is going to be winning this week. I might pick a lucky commenter down below for like a giveaway, or something. It's going to be real good. Probably not. Anyway, let's get into a real quick DFL power rankings to start here. To start the season, I am going to put down at number 12, Acknowledge Unk. Now, it's helped a little bit by the fact that while I'm recording this, he in live real time threw everybody on his team on the trade block. So we know that panic is setting in Baldville, which I think is the right move. I think it's the right move to me. He has a lot of old people on his team, a lot of injuries. He just really can't match up with everyone else. I respect that Senya came in and immediately tried to be an impactful team in this league, but you got to know when to tuck your tail and run, and tucking your tail looks like it is. That'll take us to number 11, which I'm going to give DeVito, because he does have that youthful upside factor. It's fun, exciting team. Still dog shit, but fun. Next up, we will roll in with... Had to make a cut here because I was thinking it, because Carmine's team did just win, and he's a little bit, he's exciting. Just for this point in the season, just to humor him, I'm going to put myself. We need to have the Rags to Riches locker room watch Dynasty Nation Network and light a fire on them. We are 10th in the power rankings. We're just bad. We've been bad. Now, do I think this is where we're going to end up? No. But it's got to start somewhere. And then above me, I'm going to put Chicken Parmesan. His team did have a big boom last week. A lot of exciting things happening there. But he's going to have to earn better than a 1-2 record and a couple more weeks consistency before he can be any higher than 9th. And then with 8th, we will go with the Rogaz Renegade. Again, a lot more exciting than maybe people were expecting. Like, Buka's been fun. Javante's been fun. Herbert's been great. We'll see if he stays here in the power rankings. Could dive down a little bit mid-season. I know that he kind of wants to be pretty bad, but maybe that'll change if you just keep winning games. And above Rogaz Renegade, we will have Jimmy's 2-point conversion, 1 and 2 start, most likely to climb here. I have all the faith in the world in this roster, but early season we gotta give some love to some of these lesser teams that are winning. It's like charity. You got to give them something. Speaking of charity, this is where we'll have Alexi. And next in the power rankings at 6, right in the middle of the pack. middle of the road. He's, he has a lot of young talent, but also like not a lot of that top end young talent that we've seen break out. But he definitely has some potential there. But I think that like right in the middle of the pack, sitting at 2-1 with a lot of other 2-1 teams, is where he lies. And then next at 5th, we will place Chrome Future. Now I was gonna give him 4th, but that CD injury, is going to dock him that one spot because it's going to be a struggle if CD's out for like 4 weeks. We'll see if Andrew can like hang around. Otherwise, he might find himself falling further on these rankings. And 4th, we will have Fossil Fuel. We will have you, Justin. You're hanging around that playoff picture. Again, I think you have the potential to win any week, but you also have the potential to have some flop of weeks. So we're gonna prop you there 4. And at 3, we will have just because you're 3-0. Your team is dog shit, Rob, but you're 3-0, so we're gonna put you there. I just can't put you in the same sentence yet as the other teams who have shown that they can be, perennial playoff teams, which will bring me to 2, which is Bobby, the Redeem team, and then number 1 we'll round off, obviously, Bijan Musterson, Jason. Number 1, I'm sure he'll be number 1 in the power rankings every week. But the problem with that for Jason is being at the top means you have the furthest way to fall down. So if you do anything less than win the championship this year, you will be the biggest clown show in the history of the DFL. Book it. Now, all that being said, I'm sure I was rambling a little bit. I'm going to try and get back to the swing of things better here, getting a little bit of a groove, being used to being back on this microphone. But thanks for watching. I'm excited that football's back. I'm excited that the DFL is back. It's, one of my favorite distractions from life is being able to talk to you guys in this league. And hopefully beat you guys and beat your asses going forward. We will turn it around. Until next time. I always suck with outros. Thanks for watching Big Rich Breakdown.